Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing a fantastic subwoofer from REL, their T9X active subwoofer. Now the T9 was absolutely famous. It used a combination of passive and active active drive units, as you will see in this one. The X sees a lot more power and a better sort of implementation of some of the core features that have always been REL. Nevertheless, it's a relatively compact design. In fact, that's one of the reasons they've incorporated a combination of active and passive drive units, is to manage the size of the cabinets. Historically, years ago, decades ago, REL was renowned for these quite astonishingly sized cabinets with multiple bracing elements inside, managing the airflow, port design and other things like that to tune the box to a very, very low frequency response. The results were brilliant, and it cemented REL as an absolutely perfect subwoofer for both music and now movies. However, with the modern demands on living spaces, a more compact design had to evolve, and hence the introduction of the T series. They do a slightly smaller version, the 7, and their little baby one, which is a 5. And again, they use a combination of active and passive through that range. Right, now let's have a look. Firstly, packaging, pretty boring, doesn't need to be much. The box is taped closed with REL branded tape. The top of the box has some information about delivery and signing for stuff and damage. A bit of information again about freight and things on here. And on one side only, an implication of what is in the box. REL Acoustics T9X, approximate weight given the fact that it's about 50 pounds, 22.5 kilos. And then scannable information associated with both the model and serial number. Now then we've got some basics again. We've got the serial number being mentioned, and then an implication of the voltage or country of origin, and the colour, which today is a gloss white. Opening these is really, really straightforward. They are, it's a clear packing tape. It's not unusual in the New Zealand market for these to be pre-opened. This one doesn't appear to be. To swap out power cords and put a New Zealand one in. Nevertheless, we've got that iconic blue tape. And the first look that we see, it's quite heavy, is of course the polystyrene. Now, we've got a really comprehensive manual. It's more of a brochure at first, actually, to be honest, but it does talk about some of the interesting elements and getting the most out of REL and other things along those lines. Excellent to see that they have reinforced that with a lot of tutorials and information on their website. You see, setting up a subwoofer isn't just sort of plonk it down and plug it in. To get the most out of it, it requires a little bit of care and attention associated with crossover, placement, tuning of volume, all of those types of things to get the very, very best out of them. Essentially, you want the subwoofer as the speaker frequency response rolls out, you want the subwoofer to roll in and cover off using noding and other acoustic principles the gap between the two. Nevertheless, they do it perfectly. Hey, in the box we have got a big, long New Zealand IEC power cord, and then REL's unique high-level speaker input. Now this cable takes a tap directly off the amplifier's output, and as part of REL's signature, it gives it its ability to take a snapshot, a sample of that, rather than taking any power away from the amplifier. It's monitoring this. This is a really long cable, by the way. It's about 10 meters, and weirdly there are 3 conductors, and I'll go into that in a moment. Nevertheless, 10 meter cable. Now, like everything, we would always recommend that roll the box over and take it off. Okay? And we'll see in that box the other half of the packaging. There. And then probably the easiest next step is to sort of rock the subwoofer out of the packaging, or actually sort of roll it. Because it's a heavy subwoofer, I mean it is the largest in the range, the unpacking of it needs to be done carefully, particularly with these gloss finishes. So roll it back over, lift the last of the polystyrene off, and then we've got a soft cloth bag slipping over here, which of course has protected the gloss finish in transit. Now before I take that bag off completely, I'm going to sort of roll things around and show you some of the exceptional design elements. Firstly, 4 really nuggety feet, all branded REL. They have the ability to add big spikes, but they do come as standard with rubber pads. The REL drive unit is unique to the range and features a two-tone look. Now, it's actually because the inside of it is reinforced with an aluminium cap. The concept is pretty straightforward. With a subwoofer, that drive unit is going to be running very, very low frequencies. So stiffening it without adding much mass is very important, and they've opted for a branded aluminium cap. Now this being the floor firing part is the passive radiator. Now it's a 10-inch, so loosely 100 and... oh, look, it's a 10-inch passive radiator, so what's that? 200 mils, something along those lines. Nevertheless, rolling it over very carefully to preserve the finish onto those rigid feet. And you'll see it's not slipping around. It's designed to grip the surfaces that it's sitting on. Taking the last of the bag off, we reveal the grille at the front. Now the grille itself is of course acoustically transparent, and taking it off, it's got massive metal pegs and big solid rubber bungs to ensure that this can't move around. It's uniquely solid. It's made of MDF. It's painted white to obviously match the colour. The middle of it's cut away and is acoustically transparent, again highlighting these big pegs, and again the care and attention that they have with the design of even just the grille. Then we see the main active drive unit, and it's subtly different. Firstly, they've opted for a white colour to match the white of the subwoofer. The black version, so the whole range is available in 2 colours, white and black, and this, the 9X, is available in some limited edition colours including red and yellow and orange and things, some funky options. Nevertheless, they've opted to have the drive unit colour matched to the finish, and it gives a lovely appealing sort of two-tone to it. In the black version, the gloss black, the drive unit is black with again the REL aluminium cone. Nevertheless, what we will see is just how much excursion the drive unit has, and it's significant as far as its rigidity and ability to couple with the frequencies that you are expecting. It's got on board a 300 watt traditional class AB amplifier, and that's with you know, all of these massive class D amplifiers claiming 2, 3, 4, 5,000 watts. It appears at first to be relatively modest as far as its power. But remember, a traditional toroidal based power supply will deliver a significant amount of additional wattage before it will start to clip or peak. So conservatively they've rated this at 300. It's probably going to double at 600 before you're going to have any issues. So there's more than enough power to keep this subwoofer under control and sounding really, really good from a music perspective. Now tilting it forward, we see that the unit is essentially a cube. That's part of its design. And we see centrally in the top the REL logo. Spinning it around, we see the side, and again, you know, it's almost a cube. Now it's at the back that we see just how well appointed it is. The duplication of inputs and outputs make it an excellent subwoofer to add to any number of different setups. The first and most obvious, by the way, is this massive heatsink. The amplification on board runs warm, and so with that a traditional heatsink is required to ensure that it keeps things cool. We've got the REL logo and a control option with RS232. Then the model, the T9X. Then we see some very subtle things that at first glance don't look like much, but when you drill into it you realise just how appropriate it is to managing the high-end performance of a subwoofer like this one. The first and obvious is a simple phase. Now that's 0 or 180. That helps resolve some of the placement issues associated with the subwoofer and ensure that it is keeping timing and pace with the music. Then we see a couple of things. A high-low level volume control, then a crossover, and then a LFE level. Now, why would it need 3 when most might have only 2? Well, the unique feature set of this enables the subwoofer to be linked to a home theatre amplifier as an LFE and the home theatre amplifier's left and right outputs to give you the best of both worlds. Effectively, the signal for the low frequencies and the more actively managed LFE output associated with the setup of your home theatre amplifier, but also the ability for it to tap into, monitor and deliver the lowest of the frequencies that the front speakers are unlikely to be able to do. That's why you've got these 2 volume controls. So this one is associated with a high level input or the a mono RCA or pre-out input. So that's volume control. And the second one over here, marked LFE, and it sort of has this 1 beside it and 1 over here too, just to make it clear, is associated with its LFE only input, allowing you to match it with the output of your theatre amplifier as well. Of course, the 2 can combine for any number of different applications, and if you're running, if you have the luxury of having 2 of these, then you can have a left and a right for LFE and a left output and a right output of the amplification stages for music. It's a brilliant way of doing things. Then we see a crossover. Now, this is where a little bit of patience and time is critical to getting the setup as perfect as it can be. Yes, it does mean a little bit of upping and downing from the listening position, but that investment in time is going to be well worth it from a performance perspective. Getting that crossover network blended in perfectly is going to end up with utterly brilliant results, and it's worth paying the time and attention to it. Now, this Neutrex connection, in fact I've got a cable here from one that's sort of subtly modified. They're a big long cable. Now, if you've put it in a permanent location, then you should cut the cable down to length, okay? They're giving you heaps to give you the ability to move it around your room and have a lot of fun. But there's no need to leave that as a long cable if it's relatively short. Or if it's 2 or 3 meters away, trim it down. Leave yourself a little bit of extra, but don't leave it in this big coil. It's not a good idea. Nevertheless, the Neutrex connector has a meaningful sort of click in place, and it allows the 3 conductors, which is a positive from the left, the positive from the right, and then an earth, which can go on the chassis or the negative of one of the speakers, to get that tap off the amplification. Again, it doesn't take a feed from the amplifier, it's sort of monitoring it, so it won't affect the performance of the connected amplifier. Okay. Below that we've got a simple enough power save or standby switch, nice and simple, right above the main switch. The LED lets you know what's going on, by the way. So standby means it will automatically go into standby if it's not getting an input, and then always on, of course, eliminates that circuit, and it won't burst to life suddenly by accident or go to sleep during quiet passages. Then we've also got a traditional rocker switch and an IEC power socket along with a fuse. So there we have it. REL's T9X, 10-inch active, 10-inch passive, 300 watt, 20-ish kilo subwoofer. Available in multiple colours. This one's white. Unboxed here with great respect and attention at the listening post here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.